everyone, I'm Julie from Julie's Everything Treasures, and it's Tuesday today, so that means Trash to Treasures Tuesday. And I know this is kind of a piece of furniture, but bear with me, we are going to be doing Trash to Treasures. And the idea I had, if you remember me doing the outside, and I'm still working on it, I'm still doing the waxing of this suitcase coffee table. I'm now going to be working on the inside, and I've started doing it as some prep stuff, but what my idea and my inspiration for this was to do something that actually I ended up being able to find things that I would naturally throw out. So what I have is here, we have, if you can see that, I'll bring it closer. It's a broken chain. It got snapped, it's broken. I've had it in my jewellery box for a little while, but to be honest, it's useless as a chain. I haven't thrown it out, but I have now found a use for it. So we're going to be using that. So that's saved from being thrown away. And here I have two, they're actually from a different kind of necklace. They were beads that I've stuck together and put a little bit of paint on. So we're going to be using these two, and I've already prepped them, stuck them together just to save on some time. So this is kind of a broken beaded necklace that I've used some of the beads before, but we're going to be using these two beads on this particular piece. And also, this is the third item, that it's an old frame that doesn't have the glass anymore, and pretty much I wasn't using it for anything in particular, so it was waiting to be used for some kind of craft. A lot of people would throw these out because the glass was broken. I always keep them, and there's always a way of bringing them to a different item. So this used to be, as you can see, wood. I painted it white and I added some of the wax on it, the same as I did on the piece when I was doing this. So it's just basically the same look. I've already done it just so that that part's done, and you don't need to watch me doing that yet again, right? So we're going to get down to doing something a little different. I have already put grey white chalk paint as the backing, and I've already put, as you can see, one kind of small rectangle in the center of white chalk paint, and it already has some sealer on it because we will be putting a transfer just on that section, so I wanted it prepped already. So basically what I did was I got the frame, put it on there, and just basically painted where I'd be putting the frame. Alright, so what we're going to do next is carry on painting the background, and I'm going to do a little bit of something different. Never done it before, it's just inspiration. Again, I've heard of it more from my childhood. I'm going to try and use a sponge to create a faux brick. So bear with me. So this, I mean, these you would usually throw out, but to be honest, because I'm using paint, this is a brand new one. It was a weird shape, so I've cut it into the shape I want it to be. We're going to be using this sponge to create some brickwork. So I'm going to be basically pouring some white paint into here, dipping my sponge in, and then I've got some newspaper down here. I'm just going to sponge off a little bit of the paint so it's not dripping, and we're going to try and create a little bit of a brickwork. So bear with me, and I'm going to try and get in position so you can see what I'm doing, but I can also reach, okay? So let's get a little bit of the paint out. Just using white chalk paint, and we don't need a lot of paint, so just put the lid back on. As I say, I don't want this dripping, so I'm going to see if I can get it onto the sponge. The sponge is dry, it might have needed to be a little bit wet, we'll see, but let's get the first layer on. Once we get a little bit of the paint soaked into the sponge, it'll probably react a little better. So what I'm doing is basically right now, the first layer, I'm just painting it onto the sponge just to get it completely covered everywhere. And as the sponge is dry, I don't think this is going to actually drip on me. So I'm going to do the first piece. So if I can move everything out of the way, I'm going to be working up here and going along. So I'm going to put this one up here and press down. Hold it there for a little bit and see what comes out. If there's not enough paint, I'll add some, and if there's too much, then I'll just dry it off a little bit. So let's see what we've got here going on. You can always tell by the first one. So it's a little too much, but not too bad, which means I don't need to add any more right now. I'm just going to put the next one up, leaving a gap, and that's why I did the grey in the background to make it look a little bit like, oh, my words are gone. Not grout, but the filler in between bricks. My words have completely gone on me. But anyway, this is what I've got going on. There we have. So I'm just going to put a little bit more paint on and just keep going along. Again, just going to kind of go up here, push it down. And once I've got quite a few on, I think it'll look a little better. Right now it just looks like sponge painting from the 80s, but bear with me. The next one on. Doesn't need to be perfect, it's just basically a fake brick wall is what I'm going to try to create. So I'm going to do one here, pressing down, and I'm going to try and just do a half a brick here. And then another one here, and just keep going along. Get some more paint on. As I say, just kind of using a sponge, a rectangle sponge, to create the starting of a faux brick wall. That's what I'm trying to create. So here we go. Put the next one on, and I'm stacking them how I think usually bricks usually are. Sorry about the noise, it's just the metal of the trunk, the case here just flexing as I press. And I'm just going to do half of one over here, if I can. Alright, and then I think I might have enough to do on here. And maybe even enough to do another one here. And then I'll add some more paint. add some more paint. So if you're popping on, say hello. Let me know who's on and what's going on. And if anybody's on, then let me know that I'm on the right place. I am on my actual page, right? Making me think now that maybe I'm not. I'm on my julieseverythingtreasures.com, right? Julie's Everything Treasures, right? You're on the right page. And then a half one here at the end again. And I'm just going to start off on the end on the next one. And as I say, it's starting to look a little brick-like. Got to do a full brick here. And then one here. In some more paint. Hi Kelly, how you doing? Just to catch you up if you've just come on, I've got the inside of my case here that I've done some grey chalk paint with a white square, which is there for a reason. I've already sealed the square because I'm going to be putting a transfer on that, and I'm using a sponge, a household sponge here, just to create an illusion of a brick wall. So just do another half brick here. And a full brick here. And I think a half brick right down here in the corner, and then try and figure out going across. And get some more paint on. Again. And if I can reach right over here, perfect. And then I'll come back. I'm going to try and use up the paint that is on here, on the sponge, because this is the last row. A little bit more paint. Right down here. It's a little bit close down here, but that's okay. There we go, that's finished. I'll wash that sponge out later, and we're finished with the paint. Don't want to knock that over. I'm just going to dry my hands, and that's what we've got going so far. As I say, I'm trying to make it look like a faux brick, white brick wall. Just gonna have some tea. And what I'm gonna do is, even though it is on the noisy side, I do have my blow dryer plugged in just so that I can dry this up and try and get onto the next stage. Hold on. So what I can work on next is the transfer, and I have one of the little Crocs transfer here, and I'm going to put that in the centre. So I'm just going to put that on while the rest is drying. I'm just going to put that in place on here, right in the middle, and work on it. It's a little bit flimsy, so I've got to work a little bit harder, I think, try and get this on. I did just paint it and seal it today, so usually you need the sealer to be on for a good day before putting the transfer on, so I hope it sticks. Let's see if it can. Yeah, it's coming. There we go. And I'm just going to get a soft cloth and just go over that just to rub it a little. Just to make sure it's on there nicely. So I'm going to, right now, I'm just going to unplug my blow dryer, if I can do that. And I want to plug in my glue gun because I'm going to be doing some gluing. And while that's warming up, I'm going to do some shadowing on the brickwork. So I have here a permanent black pen. It's an artist pen. I don't know if you can see here. But basically, I won't do it all. I'll just show you the beginning part. And what I'm going to be doing is just putting a little around, and with my fingers just smooth it out, just to give some definition of the brickwork. And up here. And just smooth it out with my finger, and just a little along here, just because it is the end. And the same here, just going along, a little bit of the ink, just dotting along, and then use my finger to smudge it out. Paint's a little bit wet. Let me just get that you see that? I'll bring you in closely so you can see what I'm talking about here. Just to give basically a shadowing of the brick. I won't do them all, I'm just going to do a couple of them so you can see exactly how I do it. Just going along the edge, just on one side, to give it a shadow. Try not to have an abrupt end, try and have it to just fade out if you can. And I will just keep going along doing that, and I will finish that later. You don't need to see me do all of that shadowing, but I'm just going to now just carry on doing the rest, and that's going to take some gluing. So basically we're going to be gluing this in place. So I'm going to be using some of the E6000, and I'm going to be using glue gun just to keep it in place while it dries, because there's not a flat surface, so it may take a little bit of gluing to do to keep it there. I might need it more of a flat surface for it to stay in place, but we'll see what happens. Just putting the glue on the back of the frame right now. Plenty of glue, just to get it in place. Takes a bit to squeeze all this glue out. It won't be a moment, and then I'll show you what I got going on. So say I want to make sure I've got plenty of glue, because it is a heavy frame and not a flat surface. With the E6000 you've got a little bit time to work with it. So I've got the glue on, and then I'm going to just go in and dab in some of the glue gun as well. And that'll help just hold it in place while the 6000 cures and sticks. Alright, I've got lots of glue on, so hopefully this sticks. I need to get it perfectly in place and try and get it on there. I'm going to try and push from the back too, so I get it nicely flat. Just let that do its thing. You need to hold it in place a little longer, just so that the glue gun works. Hoping that stays in place. No, it's not gonna stay in place. I think I need it on a flat surface. Not working. Let's see if I can get some more on. As I say, I knew I needed a lot of glue for this. go. Just trying to have it at that angle so you guys can see it, but I may have to redo it later on it flat lying down. We'll see. Let's get it back in place. Just hold it there for a second. Sure you're okay chatting to yourself. Just letting it do its thing right now. I'm holding it here and my tea is right there. So I'm going to try and see if I can reach it. Hold on. Oh, that's perfect. Hopefully that stays in place. We'll see. See if that works. So I'm going to do the same thing with the buttons I had, as I said earlier. Put some glue around and some glue gun in the middle. And the same thing with this. I'm just going to put it basically up here. Hold it in place and just let it do its thing. And now what I'm going to do is the same again, as I say, with the glue gun. I've got the ends glued, so let them do their thing here and here, holding it in place, and then up here, and I'm just going to put a little bit more glue. Here. So there. Yeah, I'm quite liking that, even though it's dangling down, way down. It's actually quite cute. I'm liking that. So I'm going to just bring you in closer, and then I'm going to just let it all dry. And I'm going to basically carry on doing the corners. As I say, just rubbing the corners just to get some shadowing going on each of the bricks. I will carry on doing that, but I will bring you closer and let you see. So basically this is the inside of the case, and I'm just going to try if I can. I don't know if you guys can see it. I've already done the bottom and I stamped, so I don't know, can you see that? So there's the inside on the bottom. I will be taking pictures soon. I just have to basically clear coat everything, finish doing the waxing, and there we've got a faux brick wall. Thanks, glad you like it. And I'm at the moment I'm still doing the waxing, so I'm going to carry on doing that, and then this piece will be finished. So hopefully it should be finished by tomorrow, and I'll be able to take some pictures, and that the glue will be stuck nicely, and there you go. So I'm just going to pop on and say thanks for watching, and if you're watching on replay, then just put into the comments #replay, and if you can sprinkle the word, that would be great, as this is quite a bit of work to do, and I'm hoping that I get rewarded soon with just everyone enjoying my inspirations. So I will say thanks for watching, and everyone have a good evening and be safe.